Welcome to another match preview, the Carlos Tevez edition, where West Ham take on Sheffield United. Obviously, we're coming back off a Liverpool loss on the weekend and a Lincoln City win in a Carabao Cup. Sheffield United, I can't remember who they got knocked out to in the previous round, but they're coming back off one of the most embarrassing losses in Premier League history, one of the biggest losses in Premier League history, where they conceded 8-0 to Newcastle and they had 8 different goal scorers. They have quite a few injuries. Listen, they've got Ryan Brewster, who's born in Chadwell Heath. Chadwell Heath is, well, it used to be where West Ham trained, but it's also where I'm from. So, listen, I don't really care about Sheffield United as a club that much. I don't really have an opinion, but I want Ryan Brewster to do well. Obviously, apart from this game, I think he is injured though. Apparently, Ollie McBurney is back for them after a controversial suspension against Tottenham. Apparently, John Fleck is having to undergo surgery, or he's had undergone already done a surgery. John Fleck apparently trained today, and he broke his leg in pre-season. That's what happened. So he's coming back, and so is Ollie McBurney and Gus Hamer, who I think scored in the playoff final against Luton for Coventry. He shined in that championship season. I don't know whether he's probably a different type of midfielder to Sanderberg, who they obviously lost as a midfielder, but different type of player, and a player that Sheffield United missed as well as Iliman Ndiaye, who went to Marseille as well. They lost two of the most, I guess, profitable players, probably two of the most important players at the time, which I've talked about before on this channel when I was previewing all the teams before the season. And if you look at this from a West Ham perspective, it looks like almost turmoil at Sheffield United, and you got to try and capitalise on that. The problem is we're not very good at scoring goals, and that's because of two factors, being that we don't have goal scorers in our team, unless it's Jared Bowen. I would say Jared Bowen's the only goal scorer in our team. Antonio is not the same Antonio. I know he was never the most clinical striker in general, but he's not the same Antonio in general. And also, we don't set up to attack because of our manager and who we are and stuff like that. I'm not fully convinced as the season goes on. It's not because of games against Man City and Liverpool, but this is a must win. And the reason why I say it's a must win because I don't see us beating many teams that are a higher caliber of us. So we need to beat teams that are probably lower caliber right now. And to avoid PTSD from last season, I'm looking at 40 points first, and then to hopefully go on and be ambitious to get to Europe. The main aim should be Europe, but as a fan perspective, I'm looking at 40 points first, so we don't have to deal with that shit again. That is the relegation battle, and we've got Newcastle next week as well, and I think we can get something from that also. But if you're going to lose to the Man Cities and Liverpools, you have to beat the Sheffield Uniteds because there's no excuse. And there's no excuse for someone like Nair Faged, who I've talked about on the channel before. And I feel like because he's one of the people that are from a nation that has a very big, fantastic core fan base online. Like, every time I put him in the title, you get people that comment on your channel and stuff, and I probably want Aged to do well because he's Aged and rather than West Ham. And I'm sorry, I don't support the player, I support the club. And Mavropanos needs to come in. He won't come in because Moyes will play Aged, but Aged shouldn't be playing, and that's the problem. So we will see about all of that. And my main problem going into this is that we're probably we can't sit back against a team that also kind of wants to be compact and sit back as well, and it's just going to be a long game trying to break down a 5 at the back. A team that didn't play badly against Everton, took the lead against Tottenham, but just bottled it at the end. I think they just have a lack of backbone. especially when it comes to crosses. Reminds me of a bit of Bournemouth under Gary O'Neill from last season, where any cross or any sort of set piece would get them. So maybe because of Thomas Souček's, I guess not really form, is it? But the goal against Lincoln, that could be an advantage to us. But knowing this kind of game, though, it'll be one of them games where it's like, this is a game where we need to start whipping the ball in. We won't whip the ball in. But hopefully another James Ward-Prowse assist from a corner, that would be nice. And I think that would make the most sense. And this is not only do we need a must-need win, it's a must-needed performance that we can have a look at and go off on. Because not only we've got Newcastle, that's a tough game. We've had Man City and Liverpool, those are tough games. We've got over the Brightons and the Chelseas, even though Chelsea are shit. But they're meant to be tough games, and we had to play with 10 men, so it ended up being a tough game, and we drew a Bournemouth, so we was in the top 6 at one point, and we're already out of it because of facing Liverpool and Manchester City. And I don't care if you want to prioritise something over the league, or the league over the cup, or the cup over Europe, or whatever. We've got to take everything seriously that comes at us, and we can't afford to throw anything away. And I want us to be back in European places, because that should be the standard now. We've been waiting so long since we moved to the stadium just to be a consistent European challenging team, and David Moyes has allowed us to do that. But the standard can't slip from here, because we saved ourselves a lot from winning the cup, and from that abysmal Premier League finish, and I don't think that should happen again this season, but we will see. And it will be a hard team to break down. I'm not expecting an easy game, and their fans will obviously be up for it, because I don't think they still like us from the whole Tevez Mascherano thing, from when they got relegated. But you have to be up for it. You have to be up for every game. And especially at home form. We've only lost 3 home games this year in this calendar year. Liverpool, Newcastle and Man City being the 3. So let's keep that up. We need to just go at them. And if Moyes has to persist with Thomas Souček, who did play well against Liverpool, so he hasn't earned his starting place. And he did score in the cup. Then this would be the perfect game for him. I'm expecting another great performance. And I need better performances from the likes of Vladimir Sufa and Nea Vergeerd and Mikel Antonio that all need to step up. I'm expecting Paquetá to be on the same sort of form as he's been. Same as Edson Alvarez and James Ward-Prowse. As soon as Edson Alvarez starts getting fitness, there's an international break in a couple of weeks, which is going to be long for us throughout this season. We don't have another defensive midfielder, because James Ward-Prowse and Thomas Souček are not defensive midfielders. They're still players that want to get forward. So this whole diamond formation, I'm a fan of diamond formations. I don't think we necessarily are set up for that. But again, as I said, we will see. But that'll be it from me. I'm going to go with hopefully a 2-0 win for West Ham. There's no excuses from a team that's conceded 8 to Newcastle. We should be aiming to batter these guys, but we don't batter any team. So I've barely seen West Ham batter teams, especially in the Premier League. They're nothing more than a 4-0 if we was to score any sort of goal. But yeah, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're on the road to 200 subscribers. So yeah, social media's are in the description if you want to follow me, and the email for the inquiries. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.